someone sent it to me on Instagram, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to make is a one shoulder dress with puffy sleeve. So guys, the first thing you're going to do is to cut out the bottom of your flea like we always do. So I've cut out what I'm going to use as my girder. The width of this is about my waist measurement divided by 4. Sorry, my waist measurement times 3 inch times 3 or times 2.5. It depends on the width you want yours to be. So you're going to use round your waist, and then you can use times 3 of that, or times 2.5 of that. It depends on how much gather you're looking to get. But if you look at the thumbnail, you'll see that her own has a lot of gather. So my guess is that they use about her waist measurement. So let's say round her waist is like 20, they use times 3 of it, so that's going to be like 60 inches of width. And then guys, the length of this gather here is just going to be your shoulder to your waist, right? For me, that's 17, and then I want this dress to drop right on my knee, so that's 40 inches. For my shoulder to my knee is 40, and then I'm going to subtract half of it, half of my shoulder to my waist from the full length of the dress. So whatever you get, you're going to add 1.5 to it. That's going to be the bottom length. So you're going to use 1 inch to fold the edge here and half an inch to join the top. That's the meaning of the 1.5. So guys, now this is what I have here. So for me, the bottom here is about 23 inches length, and then the width here is just like my waist measurement times 3 almost. So that's why I have this much to make gather with. So we're going to set this aside and now move over to the top. So for the top, I already cut out what I'm going to be needing for this here. So you're going to have your back bodice and your front bodice. So this is it here for me. So they are basically 2 fabrics that are folded into 2. The front is folded into 2, and then also the back is folded into 2, except the back has about 1.5 inches of zipper allowance at the center back. So now you're going to go ahead. How you're going to determine the width of this is just to measure your bust divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch of seam allowance, or 1.5 depending on the amount of seam allowance you use. And then the shoulder to waist is going to be the length plus extra 1 inch, because you need half an inch to join this together, the lower part together, and half an inch to join the 2 shoulders together. So that's what you're going to need here. So guys, after that, the next thing I'm going to do is just to insert my shoulder measurement here. So the shoulder I'm working with divided by 2 is going to be 8. My shoulder is 16, divided by 2 is 8. Mark that here. And then I'm going to mark my armhole. I'm going to bring this line down. So my armhole is going to be, first you're going to mark your 1 inch of shoulder slope, and then you're going to insert your armhole. My armhole is divided by 2 is going to be 9. My armhole is 18. So mark that here, bring down this line, a straight line down. And then the next thing you're going to do is to find halfway through this 9 inches. So for me it's 4.5. Mark that here, go in by half an inch here, connect this part here with a straight line down to this half an inch, and then with a curve down to the end. So this is because the front armhole needs to be deeper, right? So after that, you're going to insert your neckline. So you're going to mark 3 inches neckline here, and then connect this to the shoulder slope this way. And then you're going to mark your back neckline 1 inch. But in the meantime, we are going to leave this neckline this way because we still have to cut it 1 shoulder. So I'm going to just leave it this way. I'm not cutting it out yet. And then I'm going to mark my front neckline 3 inches, right? Just on the front alone. You see, for the back, I extended it because this is the back piece here. But for the front, I just left it where it ends because this is my front panel. The extension here is my back panel. So now we are going to go ahead and mark our bust measurement divided by 4, which is supposed to be 10.5 from here, and then plus our extra 1 inch of seam allowance. And then we are going to come down to the waist, mark our waist measurement divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches this time around, because you need 1 inch of darting and then 1 inch of side seam. That's why you do 2 inches at the waist. So I'm going to insert the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I marked it here. And then I'm going to mark my shoulder to my bust, which is at 11 inches. And then I'm going to come down 1 inch before that 11 inches, which is at 12. This is where my dart is going to stop. Your dart normally stops 1 inch before your shoulder to your bust line. So this is where my dart is. I'm going to mark half an inch on this side and then half an inch on this side, connecting it up. So I'm going to notch this part here so that I can be able to, this will help me transfer this dart all over the layers. So guys, after that, you're going to connect from the bust to the waist, and then now I'm going to cut off the excess on this side, cut the back armhole. So to cut the back armhole, I'm just going to follow this straight line down into this armhole. But once I cut out the back armhole, I'm going to separate it so that I can be able to chip off this front armhole, cut the shoulder slope and then the back neckline. So guys, this is it here. I've cut out this back neckline, cut out the shoulder slope, remove the armhole and then the excess on the side. So now the next thing I have to do is just to open up this back, separate the two back pieces so that I can have my opening for the zipper allowance. So guys, now that that is done, I'm going to separate the front. Guys, for the back, this same dart is going to extend, but instead it's going to extend up till this line. So but the one in front, you see where it stops. So just basically draw this same dart all the way at the back, but it's going to stop somewhere here. That's following this line of your chest line. So guys, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up so that I can be able to cut my one shoulder. I went ahead and pinned down the back and marked it like a chalk so that I know where my side seam, my zipper allowance is. Then I pinned it down. So now once I open it up so that I can be able to cut the one shoulder, so it's open now, I'm going to go ahead and place the front panel on it. So now it's time to determine the off shoulder you want. So I'm going to come down here by about 4 inches. You can do 5 inches, it depends on you. I'm going to come down here by 4 inches. And then from one side of the shoulder, guys, you're going to check which side you want the off shoulder to be. So let's say I want mine on this side. I'm just going to come down this way and then blend it into this side, this way. So you see, this one has this shoulder to this side. Guys, like I said, you can bring yours down a little bit further if you want to. So if you do 4 inches, if you want, you can do 4 inches. If you want, you can do 5, but 4 inches is okay for me. So now I'm going to just cut out this part. So guys, this is it here. You can bring down this neckline a little bit more if you don't want it higher in your neck. Just make sure that when you're bringing it down, you go past like 3 inches, right? So that this can blend in perfectly, because you don't want to make it so high and straight across so it will not be choking you on your neck. Just bring it down enough, like how you give your normal basic curve of your neckline. You see how I just came down a little? So what I'm trying to say is try not to make yours go across this way. So this is your straight line of your neck. Don't go and make yours so high. Remember, you still have to give it a little curve before blending it down. So now that I've done this, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my sleeve. So guys, this is what I'm using for my sleeve. The fold here is my armhole divided by 2 plus extra 1 inch. So guys, I'm going to go ahead, come down here by 4 inches for my cap height. 4 inches for my cap height, and then I'm just going to draw my basic sleeve. Guys, I'm not trying to make this sleeve long. I'm not going to make it as long as the one on the picture. It might be just somewhere here. And then I'm going to find halfway through this line that I made, which is 12. Half of it is going to be 6. I'm going to give it a curve below and then a curve above this way. So now I have my basic sleeve, and I'm cutting 2 sleeves at once. But for the off shoulder one, and I'm going to reduce it by the 4 inches I came down by. So in the meantime, let me cut this out so you guys can see. So guys, this is it here. So I've cut out the sleeve. I'm going to separate it, right? So that the one, remember, one of these sleeves here is supposed to start from the shoulder. So I'm going to separate it. One here is starting from the shoulder. And remember guys, we came down by 4 inches for the armhole, right? For the one is going to the shoulder. I'm going to just put elastic casing at the end here and pass my elastic. It depends on the length of the sleeve you're working with. If you want yours to the curve, just go ahead and add room like 1.5, just so that you can be able to make the casing for the elastic, whatever you measured. And then remember the 2 lengths I'm saying. So one side is going to have the sleeve fitting this way properly from the shoulder. One side is going to be the off shoulder part, right? This was here before, but remember this was here, but we removed 4 inches from the top part here. So I'm going to go ahead now and also cut out that 4 inches from here. but remember you want it to be able to pass the elastic, so you're going to take from this point now, come down by 4 inches and reduce it. So cut it all the way off, and then if the opening is too much, then you can pass elastic through it just to hold it down, and then also pass elastic at the end. So guys, now that I've joined the two together, you see the back panel, I've also picked my dart. I like to go up by 1 inch just to shorten the back of the back bodies, right? Because you don't want it, most times your front and your back, they're not the same, and you want this the lengths are not the same, and you don't want the zipper to bulk up at the back, so you always have to go back and reduce it a little bit. So I always go back like 1 inch, and it helps my gaiter to balance well on my waist, not the type of gaiter where the front is right on your waist and then the back of the gaiter is a little bit low. So you bring it up more so that the whole roundabout the gaiter is on the same level. So I remove that, I mark 1 inch and then use a ruler to connect it directly to this is where my side seam is. So you blend it into that side seam just like this. So now I'm going to cut off this excess, and then I'm going to attach my gaiter to the bottom of this here. So guys, now that I've done that, you see what I did here, the opening on the top of my sleeve will be too wide. So you see I attached this here just so that I can be able to make a casing for my elastic. So I attached this here, this piece of cloth. So I'm going to fold it this way and then make a casing for the top part of the elastic that will be attached on this sleeve, and then I'm going to join the two edges of this together. As you can see, I've also used bias to finish up the edge from one side all the way to the front. So I'm just going to fold this here, make my casing for the elastic, pass it through. You see the edge here already have elastic, and the same for the other side too. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is just to finish up this here and take the bottom, attach it, and then put my center back zip. Guys, this is it here. I've finished the dress, so you see what it looks like. This is the part with the elastic. Just make a casing and join it and then fold it in, finish up the edge with bias. This is the other side, and then you see my gaiter. Like I said, if you do ×3 your waist, you have a lot of gaiter. You see how full this one is, just like the thumbnail. And then guys, this is the back here. I still need to iron this out. I still need to iron out the label, and then once you're done, you put in your zip going up to the top part here. So this is it here, and then this is the back side. So guys, when you put your elastic, you hold it on with one side and then hold it to the other side. So this is what it looks like. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.